I'm still holding the phone fucking sideways the whole fucking time. They just want to see how much they can piss me off so they can say, oh, it's the algorithm because he's angry and he's saying fuck. And, oh, it's just the algorithm. It's not the fact that we're a bunch of goddamn traitors who have been plotting to destroy America from the beginning. It's not just because it was more financially viable for them to destroy America. No. They made destroying America financially viable. You understand? They made the algorithm that basically fed us content that was part of a psychological warfare campaign. And you know what? I think it's really sad how few people understand the extent of the psychological warfare campaign that's been ongoing in this country. You need to go back to the Weather Underground. You need to go see how this shit actually expanded while we all dropped our guard. And how what once was an anti-government movement in this country, man, it's to morph itself into popular culture. So anyways, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, and welcome back to the last place YouTube wants anybody to be. The one YouTuber that YouTube should have sued. But they're guilty of every fucking thing I say that they are. They have been complicit in a concerted effort to undermine the stability of this country. They have been 100% acquiescent and indeed have helped the Kremlin strategize against us. And still to this day, whether it's John Oliver, CNN, Real Time with Bill Maher, any of the really popular fucking things that people go to on YouTube. Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Buffett. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, legacy American shit. YouTube just keeps it up. They do nothing about it. They steal for Russia from America. They brainwash Americans for Russia. But worse, in my opinion, than all of that, I guess maybe because it personally affects me, they suppress the free speech and the pocketbooks of Americans who just want to speak sense to all the weird conspiracy bullshit. See, the reason why this broadcast is suppressed because I directly assaulted the propaganda. I was the one person on here basically fighting for my country. And if you're watching this broadcast, you should know that I was fighting for you. There are people on this platform that have been part of a coordinated effort to enslave minds and to turn them into a slave army of rebellion. The one theme that you could find for years on YouTube was anti-U.S. government conspiracy. But what you may not have realized is that there was actually a combination of anti-Israeli, anti-U.S. government, anti-Western, basically anti-NATO conspiracy. That's what they were really targeting. When they weren't trying to make you paranoid of Muslims, that is. When they weren't trying to make you paranoid of Muslims, they were spouting all the same propaganda that Muslims use. That Islamic extremists use, excuse me. You know, most Muslims are like most Christians. They ain't got time for all that shit because they have jobs and stuff. But people who are inducted into a slave army, no matter where they are in the world, no matter what they do for a living, seems they always find time to be internet trolls. And before the U.S. government came out and said DNC was hacked, before they talked about the Russian troll factory in St. Petersburg, before that shit was even on Vice News. I remember whenever every time they had a fucking another story about this stuff, I was sitting there saying, hey look, somebody finally covered what I've been saying for over a year now. St. Petersburg? That's exactly where I told them to look. I knew the trolls were from St. Petersburg based upon ideology, accents, and language use. I know counterintelligence so well that I can basically, half of them at least, tell what part of Russia they're from. That's why. Who's watching right now? Who's here? Are you a good witch or a bad witch? That's why it's just the one person, whoever it is. It's probably James sitting there saying, I wonder if he figures it out this time. Ah, 3 o'clock in the morning. Wednesday night? Thursday morning? I think. President's Day this week. Fucked me all up. Oh, Mr. Conway, we have number 2 viewer here. I was just thinking it's about that time. I bet you I'm the only fucking random internet user to coordinate the defection of Russian trolls. Yet, despite the flawless logic that I've put forward on, you know, and it's not even like about me wanting the monetization or the money or anything back again. It's just like, at this point, it's like, it's just stupid. Like, argue with this logic. Argue with this logic. Please, somebody try to tell me a skeptical argument to this, because I'm having trouble coming up with one myself. Donald Trump isn't in jail. Yet he continues to just commit crime after 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 crime. Do you, like, know things? You know? Like when you know things because you've observed, like, minimal shit in reality? Say you're walking down the street with some weed. You ever walk down the street? Huh? You ever walk down the street on weed? Okay. Say you're walking down the street with some weed. Speak of the devil. And, cops stop you. And they find the weed. But they know, because they've been watching you, that you're about to go get some more weed for a couple of your buddies. But they stop you. And they find the weed on you. And they just empty out the bag and throw it away. And you go and you buy some more weed. Then the next night, once again, this time, they see you walking, and they wait till you get there, and then they stop you when you come out. But they don't arrest you. They just take your bag that you just bought, say, man, it's a shame. I know you must have spent some money on this. You really should stop doing pot. You should stop committing this little crime here. Because there might come a day when you know, the supervisor's looking or whatever, and we can't just empty out your bag of weed on the street, and we're going to have to take you to jail. But they let him go. And the next day, he's walking down the same street. Cops are just like, I love this guy. He goes and he buys some more weed. Cops pull him over again. And again. And again. And again. Day by day, this just keeps happening. He's going and buying weed. And this one person doesn't call. So he walks down further down the street. Cops bust him again. Oh, he's got some different weed this time. Man, why do you think it is those cops don't arrest that motherfucker who keeps buying weed from all these different places? He keeps buying weed over and over again from the same place. He keeps buying weed over and over again from different places. That's because every time he goes to buy that weed, the cops are following a different person home. So again, why is Trump not in jail yet? He ain't been buying weed. Conspiracy, witness intimidation, obstruction of justice, accessory to cyber terrorism, treason, giving material aid to assist in the targeting of an enemy assault on this country. That's treason. But they just empty out the bag of weed. Let him go. So what you thinking? Same thing at YouTube, same thing at Google. You know, they're all a part of the same fucking team. But what you're thinking, if you want to argue with me on this, is that the cops just really like this guy. And they don't really care about weed so much. You know, they're not worried about internal affairs or enforcing the law or, God forbid, actually meeting their quota and getting a raise. No, all they're worried about is just how much they like this one guy that they keep stopping and keep seeing him committing crimes. And they're not letting him go over and over again to catch the drug dealers and follow other customers to other drug dealers and just keep following him to different drug dealers. No. It's just because they like him so much. Because make America great again. And let me tell you this. FBI can get secure secret communications between Roger Stone and WikiLeaks. They can get secure communications between people in Trump Tower and the Russians. They can get all kinds of shit that they can actually even let us know about. Just imagine what they can get, what they can't let us know about. The people at Google right now, hi people at Google, how you doing? Just like the people who think Donald Trump isn't going to jail, they think they're not going to jail because they don't understand how investigations work. They think, oh, but we've been helping law enforcement. We've got them right where we want them. No. No. They've been seeing right through your bullshit for years now. You don't think with what you were doing when the Russians started invading Ukraine that people all over the DOD and the FBI weren't raising the same fucking eyebrows I was? You really gonna hinge everything on my claim that I'm smarter than the whole fucking government? Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You're agreeing with me as a corporate strategy. Now, while I think it's cute and, you know, I like that people think of me that smart, I'm only that smart when it comes to the shit that it requires my ancient memories to comprehend and to coalesce the events of the present with the motivations of the past. When it comes to basic fucking computer algorithmic analysis in matters of obvious cybersecurity and national defense, there are people much better than me. But Google, you've been acting as though you take this statement that I make on a blanket level when I say I'm smarter than the U.S. government, and you somehow think that, well, they don't really know that we've been working for the Russians this whole time. They're not really watching us. They don't really see our communications right now. We're a big, powerful super company. Yeah, you're pretty big at cloning other people's shit. But you know Microsoft, you know IBM, you know Cisco, and you know fucking Oracle. You're a fucking overrated search engine. But y'all just keep going to your weed dealer's house. Keep taking comfort in how merciful, how those cops just seem to want to work with you. They're so nice. They're so naive. Oh, it's a good thing those police guys are so stupid. Couldn't be you that's just fucking a naive little child. You know, I don't know, like, how unobservant someone has to be in their life to not notice God's basic rules for reality. Okay? And when someone comes saying that They are speaking in the name of God, warning you out of love that you are doing something that is destroying your brethren. And then the universe itself backs them up by making lightning mimic their finger movements, by making their face appear on the clouds, by making them able to sustain a live stream when the power went out after lightning struck the fucking house. My God, are you kidding me? How the fuck are you people still on the wrong side? I'd have been convinced by now. There are some people deep from deep in fucking Mongolia who were working on the other side, who have been in Europe and other places that I won't fucking tell you about, living normal free lives for one reason only, dearies. Yes, I'm outing all kinds of shit that I've been keeping fucking silent because the time has come. For one reason only. Were they allowed to emancipate themselves from being Russian trolls? And allowed to disappear into normal fucking lives. With more assurances than I have about everything actually turning out for the best. About people actually being aware, at least on the very inside level. You see, they could have never made it to where they made it to. And told me they were okay, by the way. Wife and kids. Unless the authorities have been monitoring my activities and doing exactly what I told them to do the entire time. I told them to make me feel abandoned and make me not even, don't even listen to me. Don't even listen to me when I complain about it. I even told them the shit I've endured. Just a brief synopsis of, here, don't worry about me. I'm good deep the fuck undercover. Like I said, and you know, I'm hesitant to repeat this. I no longer see any revenue potential for this channel. I'm no longer making it a part of any of my projections. Okay. That being said, it's still the case that the only way YouTube, Google could possibly defend themselves in a court of law is by making me rich. It is what it is. And I am what I am. Oh, just think about it for a second. It makes perfect sense. Huh. I mean, sure, it would take a team of producers to get with me and come and apologize to me, and, you know, y'all probably owe me some serious back pay for all that you've fucking done to wrong me, listening to the Russians inadvertently, accidentally suppressing your most valuable contributor. And by the way, causing them extreme psychological trauma. Because, yeah, it's been more than fucking taxing on my nerves, the bullshit that I've been having to endure on here. Yeah, why might my fucking camera go? Look, I mean, I can't even fucking stream properly right now. You done fucked with my app. I don't fucking go to weird websites. I don't go downloading apps. I don't have any games. I don't even have fucking Facebook on this phone. Okay? Didn't update shit. Just suddenly, you know, I can't use fucking horizontal mode. This kind of shit I gotta deal with from y'all. I went from being shadow banned on fucking Facebook for creating a support Ukraine group. And Facebook's gonna pretend like it's because they believe that Ukrainians are Nazis. And I'm an anti-Russian racist. Basically, yeah, shadow banned for being a racist against Russians. As if they're not just white people like me. How the fuck can a white person be racist against another white person? Russians are fucking white people. What the fuck? It's a country invading another fucking country. My wife's fucking Serbian. Which means she's basically more Russian than most Russians. I know you snowflakes in Moscow and St. Petersburg don't want to hear that, but you know. Serbia's got some ancient gumption, son. Talking about me, you really think I have some actual problem with the Russian people talking about the glory of Thrace? Because I mentioned the bane of the Scythian? Judge them by their works, kids. Is that not what you were told? I've gone back through 3,000 years of history to show you consistent behavior. My memory and that consistent behavior prove each other. And those two things, and as they prove each other, they provide you with a more comprehensive view of not only all of history itself and your present situation, but what it means to be a Christian. So you can go ahead and think I'm not who I think I am. But let me just tell you this. As someone who, before I woke up, was waiting for the same thing you were. If I'm not him, he's late. And it's funny how, just like I said, the time has come where you have painted yourself into a corner. Oh, that was 3 years ago I said that. And now it is the case that the only way you can defend yourselves in a court of law is by saying, we, on our own volition, realized what the Russians had tricked us into doing. And we, in finding this pattern, determined that there was a user who had been suppressed by their efforts, and we, without knowing, had acquiesced. And without knowing, had suppressed the one person who had been trying to warn his country. We accidentally suppressed Paul Revere, and we are sorry. And we have now, because of the obvious frustration that has caused this poor man, sent a team of experts to help resurrect, oh, what a choice word, resurrect his channel in a way that is agreeable to both parties. Because obviously somebody doesn't get suppressed for trying to defend their own country. You know, I could understand if YouTube wanted to suppress all the people that I was complaining about because, you know, they were anti-government fucking conspiracy trolls and foreign agents. But then they go and suppress me instead. But one might understand how that could be frustrating for someone. And one might understand how I might, just have a problem imagining a big enough truck to drive up your ass. So we sent a team, YouTube sent a team to help edit out little bits like that. And decided that we should spend exactly as much money based upon the curve of his increased views and revenue as they were increasing based upon his efforts in the beginning, and they were. I was getting monthly checks for 234, 260 something, 270 something. About to reach $300 a month. And then they had the first Trump Tower meeting or whatever. It's funny. My drops in views just coincide with fucking meetings with the Trump campaign and Russians. And now for fucking telemetrics, I get fucking gibberish. I feel like I'm Rodney McKay trapped in that reality where he's trying to do an experiment and the fucking telemetry from the 0-point module. You know, he's trying to get back to his own reality. The telemetry from the 0-point modular is coming out, and it's little kids singing the fucking alphabet. Okay? That's what I get. I get these little bars that show my real-time views, and they just change here and there. And they just always say the same average shit, and it goes up a little bit, and it goes down a little bit, and it goes up a little bit, and the bar changes shape, and it's just, they're singing a little song. You know, I bet you with the fucking weird way these troll-ass Satanist little bitches work, there probably is a little stupid song that they're just like feeding everybody as their view algorithm. And I'll see the bars will change, the real-time views will change, and then the number of views doesn't change, and it's like, what the fuck is even going on? And there's so many ways things used to work that they just don't anymore. And it's all fucking so obvious what y'all are doing. And y'all are just like, time to go get some more weed. Certainly the cops aren't watching. We're a big IT company. Ever heard of DARPA? Look at all the money from all your stocks and all your investments and all your little Russian friends. All your ad revenue. Dude, DARPA hands that shit out in grants. Google's still trying to be at the level of a 3-generation-old machine that I'm starting to wonder if they're even aware of. And all the little fucking troll virus bot fucking bitware server virtual shit. You're not gonna get on the level of an ultra Teslan processor. It amuses me that I might actually have to explain what that is for you to know, because you're acting as though you don't know. This is hilarious. This little piggy went to market. Here's 5 little piggies. See, I wonder if Conway's even counting as one right now, or if it's just like his monitor account or whatever, you know, the one that like shadows him. Could just be 4. Could be 3. Could be 2. But I can definitely tell some gears are going right now. I'm just shocked it took you so long to realize all of this. Like, you know, I've proven that I'm smarter than you in so many ways. How could you just like discount whatever comforts you most without saying like, hey, maybe I'm kind of being self-assuagent? So anyways, Conway, how entertained are you right now? Let me tell you what the United States government isn't smart enough to do. Okay? They're not smart enough to have faked all the miracles that I've shown. They're not smart enough to have intercepted my videos right after I record them between me and YouTube and edit in somehow. Okay, you can see on the video the timestamp of when it's recorded. Yes, I mean, these are informations that are conveyed with file formats, right? So you see on the video where I said, you want to know who I am? This is who I am. And fucking lightning struck right behind my finger and my face was in the clouds. You know that that's unedited. Yes? The United States government couldn't have intercepted that and done that for me. You know damn good and well I didn't do it. Well, other than what I did. Ooh, a bottle. Anybody having trouble sleeping? See, like, don't go thinking like I'm addicted to this shit and I just keep it here. See, it's like the same amount that it's been. I just use it to hold the camera up. Okay. NyQuil. Good morning. Oh, so close to remembering what the M stands for. Lacey, what's going on, girl? Okay, so, as I thought, 3 actual people. And 2, maybe. Monkeys just looking. So, okay. Plan A at this point, Lacey and Conway, since I got both of y'all here. Plan A at this point is talk a little. Oh, whoa. I swallowed it and it went down the wrong pipe. That's what she said. No, fucking, you know, Latin Kings, rat poison, and spinning a 300ZX on I-10 on Saturday night in New Orleans couldn't fucking kill me. I'm pretty sure I'm good. Oh, how did Lainey get in my lap? I just looked down and there is kitten. Hello, kitten. I just sit here and I'm doing stuff and I'm like, why are my balls sweating? Oh. My crotch is just excessively warm right now. Oh, there's a cat on my lap. Okay. To the windows, to the wall, to the wall, to the sweat drops on my balls. I was being on the girls, growl. Till I don't ski, motherfucker, till I don't ski. What? Goddamn. Can I play with your pen and line? Club on, listen how to cut down. Security guard gotta help me now, and the body here trying to help me now. Little John G. Cousin, huh? Yeah, it's funny how I suddenly can't get in touch with Snoop's cousin as soon as I start making these broadcasts. Yeah, do y'all realize this shit? I haven't been able to talk to Toot since I first mentioned him here. That's kind of fucked up. You want to talk about psychologically traumatizing? I have collected evidence that shows that I have reason to suspect whether or not I'm able to communicate with anyone right now. Whether or not any of my emails, any of my messages actually get through. Whether or not any of them are actually as I send them, when I send them. I have reason to believe, and can prove that I have reason to believe, that my messages are edited to seem weird before I send them. And now what's gotten even fucking weirder is my talk to text has started kind of doing the same fucking thing. That is to say, I'll say something, and I don't know if you can tell, but I can speak pretty clearly. And I speak clearly to speak to the phone because it's a phone, and I know how to speak clearly to a phone so I can type what the fuck I'm saying. And it'll type what the fuck I'm saying. And then it'll delete it all, and then type something else. And the something else sounds like it's making fun of me. Like, just in peculiar little ways. It resembles some of how these edited and weird messages that my wife received that I did not send, that I received that she did not send. The way that edit back is algorithmatizing or whatever resembles how the text to type has just suddenly started fucking up. Now, when I first bought this phone, it was remarkable how well it could type. And still to this day, and I expect to see an edit to the algorithm, and I expect them to change this. Or have I disclaimed it too much? Because typically when I critique certain aspects of their fuckery, they wind up going and changing it, and they wind up taking my advice and actually adapting. No matter how fast I say numbers, it always gets the numbers right. So, I just have to know because I don't think either of y'all were here. Yeah. What's fascinating to me is sometimes I think they put the bugs in without even an actual update happening. Including with the PlayStation app. It'll change without an actual update happening. But, anyways, I just wanted to ask if Mr. Conway and Lacey saw me having my fun with a little knife the other day. This is the one I was using too, just so y'all know. My little mini katana. Isn't it cute? Isn't it fucking adorable? I love this thing. I fucking hate the person who got these for me. It's it hasn't been sharpened but it was very sharp. So it's still got that little crispness to it. Oh, very nice. Yeah, just a little deburr was all it needed. Good knife. Yeah. Not good enough to get in this wood. Kitten, can you get up for a second? So I got this little set of 4 of these different sizes kitchen knives. And they're all, the 2 are made to go in these little cases like this. And they've got 2 that are, you know, like one's a serrated bread knife and one's a solid meat cutting knife. And just how fucking cute is that? And this one. This one I usually use for cutting meat right here. I don't like using too big of a knife for meat. I like to have control. Anyways. But yeah. And then of course there's always the big katana. Actually a Musashi. It's just a tiny little sword. You know. For indoor use. This is a hand-forged, what they call a 2.5 month blade. That is, depending on the shift work, it's taken for basically a shift of folding once a day, every day. In this case, until they fucked it up. And they realized they weren't going to get this one little nook out of this thing. And they finished it off. And they got this email from me saying, I want a really, really, really well-made sword and I don't care if it's fucked up. What kind of deal can you give me on something that got messed up as long as possible through the process? Because what makes a sword strong is not how much carbon you add to it. It's balancing out the carbon and folding. What they do is they fold it and they hammer it together. And then they flatten it out. Hammering, hammering. They fold it again and they flatten it out. Hammering, 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 hammering. And they fold it again. Okay. And based on the carbon level, you get the springiness, the sturdiness. You go too sturdy, you get brittle. You go too little carbon, you get too flexible. But the amount of carbon determines the amount of folds that you can do in a day before causing the warping. Now the warping can be caused in a lot of different ways. The warping that this one has is very, let's see if I can show it. Let me get my bearings on it first. There's just this ever so slight, fuck, it's gonna be impossible for y'all to see. Ever so slight irregularity to it. You can tell. Me holding it still is making it look a lot worse than it is. That's just not happening. It's like when I fucking shoot with a scope, I have to get my hand twitch into a rhythm. And I always shoot on the fucking down, you know? Like basically, if you know you're gonna shake, okay, here's a tip for anybody who wants to know how to shoot really fucking well. Okay? If you know you're gonna shake, control your shake. And then shoot as you shake down. Boom, 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 boom. I used to be able to bounce a can at fucking 150 yards, or 150 feet, excuse me. Little 22 rifle. Now granted, that shit don't, you know, kick much. But as I got older, I could do almost the same thing with a 30-aught. You can't get as much enjoyment out of it. You know, a little 22 rifle, how many rounds does those fucking things hold? I don't even remember. It was a lot. It was like 40 rounds. Just little tiny bullets just loaded up in that fucking thing forever. And I had this fucking scope. And I remember, like, I'm not saying this to brag, it's kind of funny. But it probably is one of the things that got me able to shoot so well early on. I didn't know how to adjust the scope, and it was up and to the right just a little bit. Okay? And I just kind of knew that and would, you know, change my aim accordingly. And I just got the hang of that shit after a while. And then, let's see, years later, I was at a firing range with my uncle, and he had a 30-aught that had a similar but not as bad error with the scope. And I remember I was like, you know, your scope's pointing a little up and to the left. I mean, up and to the right. And he's like, all right, well, let me see it. I'll adjust it. I'm like, no, I got it. Anyways. I wound up getting myself a little bit of an idiot mark that day because his 30-aught kicked a bit more than my dad's, and I was getting frustrated with the scope, but I didn't want to hand it back to him, you know, like I don't like next thing I know, you're gonna be shooting and I'm gonna be waiting some more. I ain't trying to wait some more. I want to shoot now, you know, like no, I got this shit I used to have in fucking yeah. Wound up getting myself a nice little raccoon mark. I didn't give a fuck. I had sunglasses. Anyways. I do miss that land that we had. Or that land that my grandfather built that cabin on. Was it a log cabin? It was like an old style slat-sided fucking building. But he built it 1 8-foot section at a time, and then put it in his pickup truck. You know, built the fucking stem foundation blocks in there, all that good shit, and just built it little by little. Well, let's see if I can list a few of the experiences that apply to that place right there. Dressing up in full camouflage, including with fake plastic grenades, sometimes water balloons that were colored like grenades. Those are cool. Sometimes actual little fucking firecrackers and shit. But real guns, okay? Running from tree to tree as best as I could imitate soldiers, and learning how to, both with rifles and handguns, pop out from a tree and take a shot. With a handgun, it would be choosing 3 targets. Bum, bum, bum. Okay? Let me show you that again. Bum, bum, bum. My targets would invariably be other trees when doing this, because, you know, there were a lot of fucking trees. I'm trying to remember the first time I saw somebody take a shot in a movie similar to that shot that I used to practice. That little just 3 shot, okay? This is after I had lost many friends to gang violence, you understand? But when I was with my dad, I was a different person. My dad's life was entirely different than my mother's life, you understand? My mother was dating Hell's Angels. My mother lived in the ghetto. My dad left my mom for a little Sunday school teacher bitch. My mother was a bandito who married a Hell's Angel. How that fucking happened, I don't know. But anyway. Actually, technically, Dave isn't a Hell's Angel. He was a war buddy and friends with the founder of the Hell's Angels, and is the only person to have ever owed the founder of the Hell's Angels $40,000, I think, and have his debt forgiven. Another thing we used to do at Kasi was dig, like, not foxholes per se. We dug, like, what we were trying to make was like our own little Mayan ruins, kinda, but like also like a battle bunker, kinda. It was like our fort, but we dug like a 4-foot trench about maybe 16, 18 feet long, and then we each had like our little apartments, kinda. And everybody dug theirs differently. all of them were big enough to fit in, but you know, like the older the kid was, the more impressive and dug out, you know. And then like we had kind of like little chairs carved out, and we had steps carved out on one end and a throne carved out on the other end, you know, like a big sitting chair, armrest and everything. All just dug into the fucking dirt, just carved out of the dirt with little hand shovels and shit. It's fucking great. Came back there years later, and like halfway filled up, and we were just using it like a fucking, like a World War I trench. Yeah, like I learned a lot about how sediment layers can build up really damn quickly by seeing just like the holes that we dug. The deeper cave-like ones would just like fill in, just with just fucking dirt and sand, just from the rain bringing it in there. Pretty amazing. After about 10 years, you probably couldn't even tell there was a fucking hole there. After about 10 years, you probably couldn't even tell there was a hole there. Battery thing notification came up. Bingo! Stop licking your dick. Oh, hush. Alright, Lainey, can you... You're so fucking cute, you know that? This cat here. Oh, I forgot I can't use the phone regularly. Look at this little shit. This is his spot too. Like I can hardly sit up here without him getting in my lap. And like, people don't get animals. Like, he keeps trying to run outside. Okay? This is not a fully domestic cat. This is possibly half, maybe a quarter minx, which means bobcat hybrid. Dingo, half pit bull. Dingo hasn't had a good smack since he started having his ear infections 5 or so years ago. But he knows what it's like to get a good smack. Lainey, I'm the only one. I'll pick him up by the scruff of his neck and backhand say, "Fucker, no." And my wife and the kids will look at me like I'm doing something horrible. I'm putting full anger into it, holding back with my hand a little bit, but giving the impression to him that I'm being harsh, as if I were the dominant animal. See? You think he flinches from me? You think he avoids me for any time whatsoever? Think he so much as hides from me after that? No. He immediately follows me to my spot and comes and asks for forgiveness. And then he'll jump up on my lap and start nuzzling my face and telling me he's sorry. Because he knows he did something wrong. Because he's been told over and over again, fucking animals aren't stupid. And if you got a stupid animal, I can't tell you what to do. But you should know when a cat's stupid when they're a kitten and they just keep on running into shit. Like I'm not talking about... I'm talking about a relatively smart animal. Like I said, wild. Dingo. Half pit. Okay. I have seen people with the sweetest fucking pit bulls, okay, that would punch them in the face for fun. As in, the dog was having fun. Yeah. Guy's just boxing with the pit bull. And the pit bull's just wagging his... Pit bull doesn't give a fuck. I could never, ever, even playing, hit Dingo like that. I used to play slap him around, and he loved that shit until his ears start getting infected. But there's basically a level of observation that you need to have when trying to discipline an animal. Okay? That isn't abuse. Don't abuse a fucking animal. Don't spank it as if it were a child. Okay? But you have to have something that's at the level of rough play. Okay? Like, dude, the way this kitten and Misha play, it looks like they're trying to kill each other. Okay? You have to have something at least at that level. A little bit further than that, okay? To let them know when they've actually done something wrong, or they're not going to give a shit about you. And you can tell if you go too far because then they will avoid you. That's you see a dog or a cat that avoids their master, that's somebody taking a broom to them or something and just being fucking mean. But spoiled rotten. These fucking cats eat better than I do, I swear. Huh, kitten. Wake up. So yeah. There's no fine line between abusing a cat and fucking, or a dog, and like, just a proper disciplinary tap on where they get tapped to play, you know? You don't hit them on the fucking nose, you don't hit them on the ear, you don't hit them in a sensitive spot, ever. you hit them in their natural play defensive type spot. On a dog, it's generally the side of the face, okay, where they, you know, where they like to get smacked and play with you, you know? Or the same place, only you're mad at them, same level of them. And they know the fuck you're talking about. Now, I don't know about regular domestic cats. For all I hear, they just don't listen to begin with. I've only really had like semi-feral cats. But as far as dogs go, it's about whether it's a big dog breed. And a pit bull is the smallest dog that counts as a big dog breed. Little dogs, I can't give any advice either, because I've never had a little dog. And I don't even count them as dogs. They're purses that bark. Doesn't Gucci make little dogs? Or was that just a turd with stripes on it? Anyways. A cat bug puppy cat? Oh, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. Like, okay, I don't mean to get on a tirade about this shit, but I take issue with two different types of pet owners. One is pet owners whose dogs, or what, usually dogs, are just completely out of fucking control. Okay, they don't get enough attention. They're barking at every fucking thing they see, making too much damn noise. Chewing shit up, not being respectful of company, not listening. You know, it's like they're spoiling them like children and just letting them walk all over them like a spoiled child. And it just becomes a big pain in the ass for everybody else. Like a spoiled child. To me, that's almost like another type of abuse. And you know what? I think there might be something to say about how unnatural that arrangement is. Because isn't it usually those dogs that wind up needing all the fucking medications and shit? There's a lot to be said between the connection of spiritual balance and harmony and medical physical health. Not metaphysical, medical physical health. A dog sort of naturally knows whether it is genetically on the dominant side or genetically on the inferior side. Okay? They just kind of have a different biochemistry, psychological mindset. If you take a dog that has the feeling of needing to be led and dominated, okay, and then you just act like a total pushover, it's possible that their harmony could be fucked up by this and actually give them medical problems by basically not giving the natural expected response to their innate chemical tendencies and kind of throwing them into a series of peak and unbalance biochemically, almost similar to an addiction curve. Okay? See, just take it from maybe translate it into a human perspective. The human equivalent might be you know, you can consider it on the opposite of either extreme, but you know, I myself find it harder to imagine the other scenario in which, you know, you just want to be led by somebody because you don't want to take upon the stress of thinking about all the problems of the world or whatever. You know, you just want to go to your job and have a decent fucking manager that tells you what to do and shit. And you know, but then you go to work. You don't want to run the company. You're not making enough to run the company. But you wind up realizing everybody you work for is a bunch of morons and you're the smartest fucker there and they're running the company into the ground, and what little living you're able to scrape by is all going to go to shit when the factory closes down or whatever. You know? You want to be led, but you get stressed out because all people can do is kiss your ass. Oh, it's good to see you. Oh, you're a great worker. And over time, it's like, yeah, I wish y'all fucking paid me enough. But y'all just can't learn to run a business yourselves, so I'm just kind of stuck here hitting this fucking feeder bar. You can see how that might affect someone's biochemistry for the worse over time. Make them more prone to illnesses. Well, a dog, especially some of these pedigree breeds, they come from, many of them at least, come from different very proud genetic lineages in which those breeds were trained to do specific things, and they were trained rigorously to do these things. And other ones are, you know, like show dogs who've been taught tricks and all kinds of different shit. And then they become a purse that barks. And all they get is, oh, he's so cute. Oh, look, he pooed again. Oh, fuck. Why did you... Yeah, shit. What you gonna do, bitch? Ah. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Because they're just your little purse that barks. Maybe you gotta, I don't know, squirt them with a water gun or something like you do a cat. I don't know. I don't know what you do with a little dog. I mean, for one, it's a fucking dog, okay? And I think like people wind up suppressing a lot of the dog in them by not playing rough with them when they're puppies and as they're growing to 2 years of age. You have to continue to play rough with them until they're 2 years old. It's a fucking dog. That's how they learn their social structure. For a dog to understand its role in life, even a little dog, okay? They got to keep on coming up against your hand and getting pushed and pinned. Pushed over, pinned over, pushed over, pinned. Play with them for a little while, and you're like, fa-da. Play with them for a little while, and fa-da. That's what I do with cats, too. Okay? That's why cats fucking listen to me. Because they know the social structure. And they know that if I'm upset and they get fa-da'd, they fucked up. And then they know that if I make that noise, that means they might get fa-da'd. They're going to listen without me having to get up or anything. And yeah, they're little shit sometimes. They sometimes are like, I might get down. What you gonna do? And then I gotta like pretend I'm getting up off the couch and then they jump off, you know. Oh, Laney's just fucking adorable with that bullshit too. He'll be up on the kitchen counter, stretched over the sink, looking out the window. And I'll tell him to get down, and he'll go in front of the sink and kind of crouch with his head halfway down off the counter. Is this down enough for you? No, motherfucker, get down. Anyways. So, before I start fucking incessantly talking about cats again, I'm like that girl you dated in college. You know, at some point, it's just no matter how great this fucker is, if he doesn't stop talking about his cats, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Let's talk about business. If y'all want any preaching or lessons on any particular subject that you've been thinking about, like I said, just ask. Okay? Ask and ye shall receive. I'm tired of feeling like a broken record. Okay? And yeah, I get into these different things and I always wind up like remembering new stuff that makes sense out of everything, but it takes a lot of fucking energy to get off of all the other things that I have pressing on my mind and go into that tangent. You know, that's kind of why I watch Bleach just over and over again. I've basically got most of the damn storylines memorized. So there's nothing I have to pay attention to, and I can just draw on my sketchbook and have Bleach on in the background, or, you know, usually I put it on when I'm ready to fall asleep. But like if people are here, especially if my wife's here, she gets irritated when I just have like seminars and lectures and some really irritating shit, granted, but stuff that I'm learning to do real estate. And let me see, things like basement finishing and subfloor ceiling and ventilation. And you'll be shocked by how quickly this stone wall leaks, by Matt Reisinger, building science guy. Like stuff like that. And then, of course, all these different real estate gurus. And I can't be watching that while the house is noisy, or while my wife has just got off of work from her real estate job. She don't want to come home and hear that shit. I can understand that. So I'll put bleach on while I continue to work. I'll put it on while I go to sleep. Just because I can't, I don't know, I don't think before I got my head stomped on by that motherfucker while I was sleeping that I really had this much exhaustive type feeling from changing subjects. I used to be much better at multitasking and just kind of keeping a bunch of different things in my mind at once, as opposed to having to go from one thing to the next and having to like really stop and unload for a while. And before 2011, when I woke up and was able to start analyzing and healing my brain and making it function again, that problem had gotten to where it caused a severe physical pain, and I had all but given up on basically thinking on my own level. Like I just tried not to think. Just, I would think about work, and I would just kind of like veg out on stuff. But I just wouldn't let myself stress, and I wouldn't let myself take on the problems of the world anymore, any more than just like a normal fucking person, But in 2011, when I started remembering all this stuff, I kind of had to use this childlike magic mechanism of formatting that I call Viewmaster slides. Okay? Remember Viewmaster? A little red thing you put on your face, and you click the little thing, and it had the little white disc with all the little mini photographs in it, and it had the little notches on it, and you clicked it, and it went to the next photograph, and you'd be looking up towards the light source, and they had like Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock 3D shit, and they had nature slideshows and all kinds of different stuff. You could go, if you were touristing at the time, you could get a Viewmaster from wherever you stopped. So I had like a Hawaii Viewmaster, I had a New Zealand Viewmaster, I had an Australia Viewmaster, like all kinds of stuff. One's from Texas, one's from California. Had a bunch from Disney World. But that, sorry, just having fun memories for a second there. Not of the places, just of the Viewmasters. Because I'm that big of a dork, yeah, very much. But like what it came to was, if I wanted to focus on something in life, I could focus on it really well. Unlike before, I was really feeling like I was just struggling to maintain a stream of thought. Like just so fatigued about life in general. Just everything was just like just a weight. Just one sentence through my head just felt like just more than I could bear. Like that's how fucking just living in your car with all kinds of other shit wrong is just not a good place to be. Anyways. And then scraping by, half-starved, losing weight, living in the ghetto, having constant headaches. Oh. Took a while to get better. And it was actually as it was getting better, as I was making really good money and starting to save up and starting to look for a new place. You know, not at the point where you'd think somebody would break, but you know, it's not like shit was getting worse for me. It's not like there's like some point where I reached where I snapped. No, this is, I mean, I was parts manager at a motorcycle dealership, getting fucking $3,400 commission checks, okay, on top of my $9 an hour. I was saving up some money pretty quick, even though I was going to fucking PJ's every day and like spending $12 to $20 just on like mochas and chocolate chip muffins and shit. Should have been saving more money, but I felt like I was just getting started at that job. I was certainly just getting my eBay store together. The reason why I was making such of a killing and commission was because this place, okay, I'll just get on a sidetrack to tell you how sweet this was. I wish I could have fucking... I wish I saved up more money and had a backup plan for a vehicle, because mine crapped out and then I couldn't make it there anymore, basically, was why I had to quit. Yeah. That's just the worst reason to have to quit such a fucking sweet job. What made this job so sweet, I could barely stand some of the fucking people there, but it was a manageable situation, right? I had my own little fucking department. And what I did was, okay, they have 3 different locations. This one power sports business had 3. Now they have 2. And there's this warehouse that I hadn't even gotten started on yet. But just in this one dealership, 30 years worth of misordered parts just sitting in the back. Parts that people need for their bikes that they can't find, that nobody makes anymore. Just sitting in the back. Guess what they're doing right now? Still sitting there. Heads up their asses. I don't know. If these people weren't morons, they'd have bought me a house, because there's so much money to be made. They'd have bought me a car. They'd have just set me up right next door, man, because there's so much money to be made. Just sitting there on the shelf still, in the back of that warehouse. Just at that one dealership. I went back there, one part at a time. Photograph. A lot of research. Some of them weren't labeled. Okay? And we're talking like the rear sprocket to a 1984 Honda CBR. Like, take it easy, Lacey. Full cab setups, for Polaris side-by-side ATVs that they didn't make anymore, that had just gone obsolete, like from the first edition, you know. Full cab setups, okay? You know how many thousands of dollars those things cost? I sold a couple. They were just sitting back there, not in inventory. Imagine? All I had to do was just computerize all these parts and post them on the fucking eBay. Just photograph, serialized, post. And that's what I did every single day. I just went in there, photographed, serialized, post. I went in there first morning. First thing I did in the morning was check the orders, pull, package, ship out. And then just be like, what shall I post next? You imagine just having just a massive inventory of someone else's shit to sell on eBay? Oh. Why couldn't that work out? Oh. That's twice that right when a job was pissing me off, a car crapped out on me. What was otherwise a dream job. You know, one, that one, the other, Honda. But just to give you an idea of how much eBay shit they sold: Polaris, Sea-Doo, Can-Am, Yamaha, Suzuki, and Kawasaki. 30 years worth of shit. Like, do you know how many random parts there are on, like, Sea-Doos and shit from the 90s? Like, that just people were just, thank you so much for posting this. I've been looking for this forever. It's been sitting back here. I could damn near make up whatever price I wanted. I would do comps, you know. But if you think I was posting that shit at original retail, you are sorely mistaken. I would go on the rarity of the item. If it was rare, I got some money for it. And don't think I'm doing a bad thing by doing that. No. Because you don't go giving some fucking moron who's going to waste some shit or put it on a rusty piece of shit or let it get rusted and go to shit an obsolete rare part. You make sure that that thing's going to a good home. That is one of the functional parts of capitalism. And if it wasn't for all the dysfunctional parts and the corrupt parts of capitalism, that part would inexorably find itself in the hands of the person who worked the hardest to earn the right to have it, or who thought that it was worth the most sacrifice of their earnings. But, you know, due to corruption, there are, of course, aberrations. It could just go to some sleazeball. off there. Why aren't you working? Apparently I thought it was repriming and it wasn't. Oh, I really gotta replace this fucking turn pump. Oh, wait. There was something I wanted to show y'all. I was a good little Jesus today. And I did some callirpa harvesting. Now, you can't really see right now, but you can kind of tell that there's a bit more rock showing in that tank. I did the usual clean out on that one, although this one's been seriously rearranged. And I'll go ahead and make it a nice long stream and wait till the sunrise happens in the tanks so we can get a good look at them. It is now 4:30 in the morning. That is a slightly below standard size grocery bag. Oh, shit. I seem to have splashed myself. Oh! So anyways, it's just getting depressing. Like, I can't work on the tank without thinking of, like, all my dreams, you know? It's a lot like trying to fix a car after the car costs you your job. You know? Only in this case, it's like you never get another job and the car never gets fixed. I didn't buy all this shit to have a big living room full of fish tanks. I bought this shit because I thought I would make enough just enough revenue to be able to purchase a very, very cheap home. Just enough to augment my income to where I could get this property that was listed, mind you, at $99,000. This property included 2.5 acres. On a main road in the middle of town. Yes, back into business. On this 2.5 acres, I was going to make the prototyping facility for my flood-proof buildings, as well as my reef store. I was even going to use the reef store as the prototype. But my annual income fell $2,200 short. Let's see, I was making $250 roughly a month on YouTube. $8 months. That's 2,000 in it. It's 4 months. Yeah, 8 months is 2,000. A year would have been 3,000. 3,000 is bigger than 2,200. If I would have just been able to report the income that I expected, that I earned. In fact, considering the whole YouTube Paul Revere thing, I think I more than earned it. So my plan for this land, and it's still for sale, just not listed anymore, but it's no longer my focus. Was to launch all of my other businesses. Now, the thing is, it's going to take a lot of effort long term to keep me from ever being successful. And the longer it takes me to start being successful, not only does the likelihood increase that I'm going to find a way to be successful, but the longer it takes me to be successful, the more successful I'm going to be when I get there. because what you've given me is a lot of free time to plan. And not only that, I don't just sit there and, you know, think for a second that I know shit about shit. You're probably considering me as someone who plans by dwelling on how I know everything. No, no, I'm not my dad, okay? I plan by observing others' experiences, especially when I find people who are way above my level in a certain field. And I'll learn from them until I ascertain exactly what level they're on. And then I'll be able to understand exactly how good their wisdom is relative to the other people that have different opinions and give different advice. And I take my own experiences and I use those to verify or deny conclusions of other people. And I guide my own plans and experiences, things that they inspire and inform me of, and put them all together by the principle of best practices. Not only what seems to be getting the best results, what I've seen that they say that, you know, that is a consensus, you know, that I've experienced, that is my opinion, but is also like the opinion of the people who meet the last criteria of being not con artisty. Now, when it comes to being a salesman, most of them are a little con artisty. On the surface, you know? But like, you know, you got these guys who are just trying to push their fucking class or whatever. And then you got people who are understanding their market and doing right by it. And then you've got people who are genuinely good people and just happen to also be salespeople. All three of these people, all three can teach you a lot. What you can learn from the ones who are pushing their classes is about the mousetraps, about the rabbit holes, about the things to stay away from. You know, it's just this simple. If there's some sort of magic trick, if there's some sort of gimmick on how to fucking get rich, and it's based on a finite market, which, you know, everything involving money is, unless you got a real con going. What you have is a situation where somebody's trying to tell you how to compete with them. You know, that doesn't seem a little off to you? There's so much money to be made, but instead of training employees to help you do it, you want my money to teach me how to do it for myself. Think about this. If there was that much money, wouldn't they be willing to pay to train someone to work for them? Hmm? So here's what you got. You've got people that are trying to get you to take a class that amalgamizes general sales and market research. Okay. Can't get you your real estate license. Can't actually make you any money unless you have money already. But are mostly designed to motivate people to invest. Okay? Other than that, they're just stealing your fucking money. If you don't know shit about sales and stuff, there are better ways to learn all the stuff that you can learn from that. Back when Grant Cardone's sales courses were all for $1,000, you get all of them for $1,000. That was worth it. I didn't pay it, but I could see that it was worth it. It's $5,000 now, by the way. 5. He's jacked it up. 5x. He'd go 10x if he could, I'm sure. That's last I heard. Last I heard, you know, I didn't see the price for myself, but it sure as hell ain't posted. But they got him on video talking about how it was 99 or $995, $995, and he, by his own words, just kept bumping it up from there. Talking about, he divulged that as an example of how to make more money, of how you can make more money. Yeah, you can just charge people more for your online course. Really? Oops. They that succumb to demons without a fight scream out the terrors of their dreams in the night. Oops. Slip of the tongue. Anyways. So. Fuck, I meant to get more specific about what I had planned before Lacey left, but I guess I'll text her about it. Mr. Conway, still there? Are you in your car already? You should be at fucking school by now. So plan A, yeah, I kind of wrote these fucking down already. Yeah. Plan A is with my dad's help. And by help, I no longer need him to move here. I no longer need him to sell his condo. I want his condo. I don't want to go live there. If he wants to come live here so we can take care of him, I might consider renting it out a month at a time or something like that. A week at a time, maybe. Maybe 2 weeks tops. You don't want to give people too long to damage a place. You know what I mean? A 21-day limit seems reasonable to me, actually. But anyways, nice condo down there in Florida. It's a seniors only type community, so if I would rent it out, it'd be seniors only. The first thing I got to do is buy one of these, and there are quite a few of them, pieces of land under $10,000, okay, or under $15,000. Because if I can get it for 15 grand, 20% is 3,000. I can get that. I can cover that with tax returns and still have just enough money to get out of Schitt's Creek as far as debts and car repair goes. So 20% down on some land, and I can get financed on it. And we're talking, yeah, $50 a month for the land. If I then have the deed for the collateral in Florida, then I can get a new construction loan. I'm going to build this bed and breakfast. I'm going to build a room in it specifically for Lacey or someone with Lacey's capability. Basically, someone with mad mom skills to run this bed and breakfast. I'm going to pay them, in addition to their free room and board, I'm going to pay them $50 per occupant, per occupancy, you know, because the rooms are going to be renting for about $400 a week. They're going to be getting $50 a week per occupant, or $70 if they book them themselves. And I'm hoping they make 70 every time. Okay? Because I don't want to book anything. I don't want to have to worry about that. I want them to do it. But, you know, if I set up a website or an automated portal through Airbnb or something, and I got an automated booking thing, you know, she better have set that shit up herself before I get to it. If she wants that $70. But, you know, this is also if I have a friend or something or a family member that's going to come in town, I'm going to pay her $50. Take care of me a little. I think that counts as me booking it, because I'm not getting paid. So I'm going to pay her $50. and come out of pocket for everything else. Anyways, although there are some family members who I would probably charge. Not that they would even fucking come visit me. Although they might if I was rich, you know, because then they might want something. Fuck. Anyways. So, this place ought to go up pretty quick, and I'll probably wind up with a surplus off of the loan that I get to construct it. I'm shooting for a surplus anyways. Because like I said, I have devised, you know, the cheap methods, right? So the plan from there is to then, after beginning to collect some rent on that place, because I'm pretty sure it'll get booked pretty quickly. I'll have different leasing options available, you know, for long-term tenants or short-term tenants or whatever. But it's going to be a pretty attractive little get-up, especially as far as the services go. I'm going to buy a fourplex. Preferably one that needs, like, all new sheetrock or something. And I don't care if I got to go to Baton Rouge in the ghetto. I'm going to get a fourplex. And then I'll probably get another fourplex. And another fourplex. Until I probably got at least 16 units rented out. 20 total available. Then I should, by the point that I had the first unit rented out, have one LLC. Once I finish getting, and I'm going to be getting myself in a lot of debt, but raising my income rapidly at this point. And I've learned the financial tricks to do it, basically. That's one of the things I've been studying. I'm going to then establish the parent corporation. Okay? And I'm going to hopefully have the money to fly you and Neville here for the first board meeting. Because we're talking about allocation of shares. Who all do I need to fly here? You, Neville, Max, fucking maybe Susie. James can take a bus. I'm gonna hire a fucking private detective to track down Daniel Burke if I have to. Oh, he's getting some shit. It gonna be made to rain, as it were. But we're all going to be able to have a nice little campfire conversation. And I have layers of ways to make sure nobody could possibly listen. So that'll be nice. Let me just explainificate how this works here. You rent out projecting 3 out of 4 units. Okay. $750 a month. Okay. So you take your $22.50 minus taxes and mortgage, and you wind up with about $500 a head every month on each fourplex. Okay? That's a safe bet right there. You can probably get more rent. You can probably have all four rented out sometimes. Okay? What you're trying to do is never have more than one empty, obviously. And you can count on a $500 surplus with average tax rates and everything. I have, with my specific plan on some properties that I'm looking at and the amount I want to spend on them, basically, guess how much my mortgage is? $420 a month. Qualification benefit at 75% of projected mortgage, okay, which means you can count this as your income against your debt when qualifying for the next mortgage, $613 a month. So instead of being debt as far as the next loan's concerned, it's a net benefit. Because it's increasing your income, your ability to pay more than it is actually increasing your debt. When you think about it, monthly, not taxes included, you're benefiting fucking $1,500 a month. You know, you're paying your mortgage, you're collecting rent. The difference is about $1,500. Put $1,000 a month away for taxes, good. Put $1,000 a month in taxes away for every 100,000, basically. You know, roughly. A good general amount. Keep it simple. When you're doing quick planning and projections, you know, when you actually get to what you're going to plan, what you're going to submit to a bank for a specific property, of course, you have to do the finite numbers. So, with all 4 units rented out, $1,313 a month. On a 4-plex for 100 grand, rented out, and that's at $700 a month, with $14,000 a year in taxes. Because I like to pad my numbers the wrong way and see if I still come out good. But it'll probably only be $13,000 a year in taxes, and I'll probably be able to charge $750, maybe on up to $900, depending on how big of a construction loan I get, how nice I can make the property look. Anyways, I don't want to make it too nice because it's not in that good of an area. So what I'll more than likely do, instead of actually making the building look pretty, is maybe put up a gate or something. But yeah, I'm looking at properties between 60,000 and 90,000. One of them like 96. One of them's 84. One of them's 70. Little ghetto 4-plexes. Oh yeah, start giving property specifics and the number goes up. Oh, and it's a Russian. How about that? I knew it was a Russian. I just knew it was a Russian. Thanks for the confirmation, Derry. You saw it. I've been kind of meandering around, then I start talking about specific properties. He's back again. Congratulations. You're on the wrong side of the universe. And you don't have the courage to do anything about it. But chime along with the destruction of humanity. Everybody clap. Oh, I think their bosses cut him off. Oh shit, he's going right for the jugular on this one. Shit, quick. Don't let them hear his deprogramming. Still gone. Anyways, so let's see here. $500 a month times 5 properties to get 20 units. That is $2,500 a month in revenue, free and clear. Plus the bed and breakfast, which is a bit more of a high dollar operation. Now just one person watching. Now it's 2. This is weird. Yeah. The bed and breakfast, which would be a much higher dollar operation, blah, 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 blah. With the overhead. Probably $150 a week per unit, per occupant, times 3 out of 4. Times 52. Let's do that. 450 times 52. 900 and 24 and 22. So it's 3150. 31 and 50. That can't be right. What am I doing wrong here? I can't multiply? Are you kidding me? Oh yeah. Let me stop staring at myself in the face and concentrate. I lined it up wrong, and now I'm just screwing myself. That's just the biggest brain fart I've had for years. Forgot to put the 0 and move the fucking next line over. That gives you an idea of the level of focal distraction from just having the camera pointed at your face. I forgot to put the 0 on the second line. I don't think I've ever done that since, like, when I learned how to multiply. Okay. So anyways, now let me actually think. So my 3150 is not enough. That's like, oh, that's 5.2 or something. All right, so 23,400. There we go. Divided by 12. Oh yeah, this is not going to be pretty. At least I'm not going to be staring at the fucking camera. I just need, like, more paper than that. $12 into 23. Oh god, that's already horrible, isn't it? 400. Oh, 1. Remember how to do long division, dumbass. Okay. Wow. Having trouble changing my ViewMaster slide. Let's see. 12. Are we back? Is it working still? Times, let's see what's below 114. 12 times 9 is 108. Look, I remembered a multiplication table. And now I guess this is 6. 61. And then we got 12 times. Oh, sweet. 6, 5. So. $1,950 a month from the bed and breakfast. For a grand total of $4,450, I think. Yeah. I'm just doing that in my head. $4,450 a month plus equity, giving me buying power. By then, hopefully, I'll made a few more connections as far as accountants and brokers go. I don't even need to get all 5 fourplexes. I don't need to amp it up quite that much, but that's the goal, you know. All starting with a little slice of land. And however much time it takes me to get a construction loan on it. Alright, so fish tank time. I found the sand. Still got a bit more I need to clean out over here. Found my fucking glove polyps. I was hoping there would be more down here. I didn't get this side too much. Found the green stripe mushroom. Pulled most of the caulerpa right here. And then pulled a bunch of the caulerpa out of here to put in there. Put the monopora where we can actually see it. Look how gigantic that fucker is. Like, there's the rainbow. There's the Hollywood stunner in the back. There's the big front Hollywood stunner. Look at the size of that shit. Isn't that awesome? That's a pot back there. That's not it. Right there. It's not the water that's cloudy. There we go. Good morning, Duncans. So yeah, liberated the coral again. Ow. Oh. Oh. this is disorienting. Hold on. All right. So anyway, so that right there is the best I can do without an investor. Unfortunately, that doesn't get me into a house very quickly, because I won't be able to buy anything that I can't rent out. So anyway, did you actually get to look at the money pour, Mr. Conway? All right, tell me when you're ready. I'll go back over there. Oh, yeah. I hadn't really realized just how much that shit had grown. Just in, what's it been, 2 years now? almost 3. From a quarter-sized frag. To the size of a fucking sandwich saucer, like a fucking, almost the size of a dinner plate, for fuck's sake. Alright. So, clean out, clean out, clean out. Actual rocks showing and whatnot. Somewhat liberated the power heads, although this one needs a bit more cleaning. Got caliper from the bottom tank, put it up here after cleaning out all that nasty shit that was in there. Clean out the bottom tank. And I moved the frog skin from over here. I don't know if any of that shit that's left on the rock is still alive. But I'm going to try to keep it exposed and see if it'll grow back there too. But I moved the good pieces over here underneath where that money was, because, you know, the rock's nice and bare right there. So hopefully they can take root. This guy fell down a little bit. I need to reposition him. But giant Hollywood stunner in the front. The other Hollywood stunner in the back. Of course, there's frags scattered all over the place. There's a frag of orange money down there. Sweet. Huh. Didn't even know that. A frag of orange money para just sitting on the gravel. I didn't even notice it. God, if anybody came and needed some frags, I would certainly have plenty to give them. Give me $20, I'll give you $100 worth of fucking frags. Just look at that thing, man. That rainbow money is fucking crazy looking. Man, something about orange monopora, especially this yellow tentacled one. Just crazy. Yeah. I need to adjust my alkalinity here. Absolutely pissed off. So, fusion part 1 and 2, and some iodide. The rose bubble that got caught in the pump has made it back to its original spot over here on the rock. It's not looking good. It's looking better, but it's not looking good. But that's what has inspired me to kind of get back to clean. I got depressed with that fucking... It's already depressed enough about a lot of things. I was fucking... just... with the anemones not fucking behaving. You know, that's my fault too. Like, I didn't have perfect water conditions, so they're wandering around looking for some better water. I've been having pretty damn good water conditions this whole time. But you let too much algae grow over shit, and then the sand stagnates, and... and then just the sheer lack of water changes. That's what I'm going to try to do today. Is I got 2 jugs filling up back there. Shit, let me go check on that. Yeah, so that jug was full. You awake? Alright. So anyways. I noticed Susie's ear got caught when I started talking about real estate. If any of my other people are interested and they want like a second job, basically, find a fourplex. Preferably one in a flooded area that needs gutting and isn't made of brick. And you find one of these professional house lifting services to come raise the house up a few feet to keep it from being flooded again. But what you do is, depending on where you live, similar standards probably apply though. If there's under a certain number of units for rent, you can get a residential loan for the place. Furthermore, if you live there for 2 years in America, you can then sell that property tax free if you want to. Even if it appreciates. But more importantly, you don't have to live there. You find someplace you can buy cheap. Okay? And then you get a specific quote from a construction company on what it's going to take to do what you want to do with it. Sketch it out, plan it out, list it, price it, everything. Do what of the work you can in the beginning. Hopefully this place, ideally, like the reason why I'm suggesting a flooded place is because you might be able to rent out one or two of the top units. You know what I mean? You don't need to get it all fixed up at the same time. Okay? You can start somebody with lower rent if you want. Now, the idea is you do what you can until you can qualify for a construction loan. If you can't get everything lined up in the initial loan process when you try to basically buy this place like your house. Okay. But what you do is you, even in the first process, if you don't have a construction company planned out, you list what you plan to do, price out your best estimate, and plus about 20%, okay? And then ask the bank for that much more than the initial loan amount. So then, you know, instead of a $400 a month note on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, because it's, you know, under a certain number of units, you're paying $420, $450. And you got all the money you need to fix the place up. Because what they're going to do is they're going to send an appraiser out, and you need to basically try to call the appraiser up and make him aware that you're going to hire professionals, this person, that person, to do these jobs. And can you please tell the bank what the property would be worth if those things were done, and not just do the present value of the property. Okay? And most appraisers would be willing to do this. Most local banks will give you enough good customer service and coordinate that with the appraiser for you. Okay? But having a quote from each construction company ready for each job, that's a good way to guarantee that they'll put up that extra money for you. Another way you can help yourself in that position is by building initial equity, by wedging the deal or talking it down, getting a dilapidated property, and then just getting the best possible price on it, getting it way below, less than half of what the potential value is. When you see that, you're in the wedge. I don't know what they technically define the wedge as, but that's my wedge. If it's selling for less than half of what I can turn around and sell it for, and I only got to put, split the difference in investment, and then there's a quarter to be made in return, that's pretty good to me. Making $25,000 off a $100,000 deal, yeah, seems pretty good. Pay 50, invest 25, that kind of thing. That ratio, at least. Come here, Dingo. You're a good boy, huh? My poor baby. Hold on, you're not done yet. I gotta clean that better. Poor baby. Come here. Come here. Oh. Come here, Dingo. You're like, I can see it's fine. Yeah, I know. It needs to be cleaned better than that, too. There we go. Good boy. There's your good boy, huh, Dingo? Yeah. And do this other eye. Is that a good boy? Is that a good boy? Yeah. Oh. You about ready for a bath, huh? Ready for a bath? You go lay down? Go on. That's enough. What? Pet me? Silly little dog. All right, go on. Anyways. So I guess, that's all, folks. Because, all I can tell you is the income on the projected rent can help you qualify. Just think of that. You might have a part-time job as long as you got good credit, as long as you got the free time, as long as you know how to appraise and see what's wrong with the house and make a plan to make it pretty, you know? As long as you can do that. As long as you can just oversee that process. Just make sure you're putting $1,000 away every month for taxes. Or, you know, more if it's more than 100 grand or so. If it's a high tax area, you know, whatever. Don't go spending the first few months' rent. Take that shit straight to an attorney and a CPA, you know? Get everything squared away. But, first step, I think, consensus-wise, is make friends with a real estate agent. Whether it's by just looking for properties and calling different agents and seeing what they do as far as like investments and stuff like that, and feeling them out as far as their carpentry knowledge and everything, how much help they can actually be. They need to at least have friends who do investment brokerage, you know? But that's the kind of person you need to start like a relationship with, and then get them to help you look at different properties, and they can start seeing you as a way to help them make more consistent money, and then instead of hogging deals for themselves, they'll let you in on deals, because you know there's lots of deals everywhere. If you're sitting there digging them up and they get to make money off the sale, they're no longer needing to dig them up themselves, if they've ever done that, or if they do that, or whatever. So it's an amortizable situation. Amicable situation? Yeah. I think I used an unintentional pun. Anyway, so that's going to be all for now, I suppose, unless somebody very interesting just joined us. Who's there? No? Shucks darn. I don't really know my plan for the day. I'm starting to settle on doing this shit by myself. I need to decide whether or not to continue to hit up a couple of investors and see if I even have anything I want anyone else in on at this point. Or whether or not I should just try to go forward with my own little thing and start calling up people trying to buy land. Anyway. But I'm tired of getting nothing done. It's just that simple. I'm trying to decide whether or not I even have enough of a shot at getting a loan without my dad's property. If I can just get some proper paperwork done on a piece of land that's financed by the owner. Not on credit, you know. Basically optioned equity, making it look like I own the whole piece of property, giving me the right to have the deed and everything. They still get protected in the contract, okay? They hold a mortgage on it. They literally hold a mortgage. It's just you don't have to be a bank to hold a mortgage. And it's got interest in everything when you do it like that, when you buy it from an individual, owner finance. But immediately optioned equity means that I can borrow against that property. As little can be borrowed. It should be enough to put something on there to increase the value. To then go basically turn around, buy another property, fix that up, and then improve, modular, expandable buildings, right? Improve the first one. We're going to sacrifice a few shingles here and there, but that's it. In fact, I might make a more removable temporary substitute, knowing that I'm just going to take certain parts down. But I don't want to take away from the look or the appraisal, I mean, that could really fucking work too. Just like the way I build buildings might actually solve this problem without the need for an investor. What do you think, Mr. Conway? You think I should just commit to trying to do this with just a mutual... Like, I got a couple of friends that I might go into business with on this as far as pulling together money for a down payment goes. But that's about it. Should I just do this? Is this simple or overcomplicated? Is this the simplest way I can do things? Just instead of trying to buy a house for ourselves. Yeah. You're right. I've learned that lesson over and over again, but I can be really fucking hard-headed, And now when it comes to, like, the whole saving the world thing, I thought it might make it worth people's while, Oh well. But as far as helping make it happen, the less I have to rely on my own tax returns, people that are involved in the greater scheme of things, the less I have to rely on my own tax returns, the better off we'll be. Because right now we're just digging ourselves a huge debt hole. I mean, just a huge debt hole. And my wife refuses to do the obvious fucking thing, which is just go and take out more loan. So right now we're driving uninsured, and I don't even have a license. So, like I said, the more I'm not relying on just my tax returns to make the down payment, the better I can get this shit launched. And look, y'all, at the very least, y'all are going to get to see this entire process. I'm going to be filming videos about it. And, yeah, I'm going to be keeping the location a secret and shit like that, but this is the only way I'm going to get a commercial loan to buy land that I can build a house next to, that I can run a store at. And I got to do all that to be able to do everything else. And I'm going to be, continuing to look for a big investor to buy the big piece of land to launch it all at once. Right? Yeah. But this, if we got to claw our way forward tooth and nail, that's what I'm going to do. But if I got to spend all my damn money on license flags, can it wait another year? Really? I'm going to be completely silent, have no influence, not even the ability to pay my own bills for another year. I don't think it's a good idea. Me and Dingo go live in a car for all I care. I don't need much. But what I'm feeling to get done, it's really starting to piss me off. So, for those of us who aren't, college students scraping by and whatnot, this would be the month to come as hard as you can. And if you want to send a private message about more coming when you get your tax returns, do so with a small amount now, so I can get leverage with my wife on how to plan things, basically. But, I'm going to see how many rentals I can acquire in the next year. I'm going to try to move into one of them if I can. Anything I get that's better than this. You know, if I get a townplex of 4 townhomes, for instance. I might consider cramming us in there instead of here. But I don't know. I might just stick it out here and try to accumulate properties. Just cheapest fucking properties I can find. Try to rent out. See how many we can get in a year. And then we're gonna officially incorporate. Because even if I have to establish it as a home-based business, we're gonna officially incorporate the parent company. And I'm gonna need everybody here to get their 1%. And I'm going to sell whatever little LLC I get from my real estate company to that parent company. I'm not going to keep them separate. And then I want everybody who's been helping me out all these years to see exactly what I got in these sketchbooks in this meeting and to fucking help me decide what to do from there. That sound good? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. We can all fucking drive around looking at land ourselves if you want. But I'm going to have an attorney and a CPA present. Like, we'll probably do it at an attorney's office. Okay? And they'll be able to, and I'll have them prepped ahead of time for anybody who's coming in from overseas as to all the legalities that you're going to need as far as taxes and whatever. You might be able to you might be able to hold your earnings in the company until you want to withdraw it. You might be able to put it into real estate here in the States to avoid taxes or tariffs or whatever. And they'll be able to, of course, inform you on whatever customs type processes you need to go through to take dividends directly. And then plan on either traveling to attend the meetings, yearly or 3 times a year, 4 times a year, whatever we decide, or just having your checks mailed to you. That's how the corporate board process goes, basically. Everybody decides and votes on whatever they're going to do. your vote is basically equal to your share, but I'm going to take input from everybody. So anyways, does that sound like a complete plan, Conway? We're talking about is limited liability companies that protect all personal assets. And I'm not stupid enough to go into one by myself. So I'm going to be, at the very least, having my construction guy as a partner. And hopefully with our powers combined, we will be Captain Planet. But again, anybody who's been fortunate enough to be employed this past year and wants to help make this happen once and for all, this is by far the best shot, because, you know, we won't be dependent on anybody. Bobby's so ready to do this shit, it's just fucking silly. He talks about it like he's getting ready to go play a football game. And I'm not even counting on him. That's my next door neighbor. His old lady, my old lady, best friends. And this is what he does. And he is tired of not being able to get ahead. And he has basically told me it's my job to plan his way to get ahead. Like, that I can do. You help me make it happen, I'll fucking plan it. So he'll probably be ecstatic to hear that I'm not trying to fucking wait on anybody else, and I got a way that we can get it done. I was gonna tell him I'm fucking do it by myself if I have to, but it just makes it less likely. And if he wants to split a dividend on that shit, yes. I'm gonna get his help with the down payment and get his, probably him and his old lady to help co-sign for the properties. Anyways, but we'll see. I might not even need that. Bankruptcy's up. Credit's gone up a little bit. I know I have at the minimum. I didn't have the fucking minimum. I was 10 points below the minimum before. I know I'm above the minimum now. So it's all about that down payment, man. It's all about the fucking down payment. I wish I had enough shit to sell. I don't. I could be able to just sell everything, and it'd still just be so ridiculous how little I would have to take for all of it. Less than $1,000. But anyways, so that's gonna be all for now. See if I can rescue some more glove polyps. There's some under there. Do some more clean out. Some nice fresh caulerpa in there. And rip some more of that shit off the rocks. Need to rescue the glove polyps from under there. There are some under there, I think, somewhere. There used to be a lot of them. I don't know. But, oh. Sunrise ain't happening quite as quick in this one. Rose bubble. What's left of it? Anyways, so that's gonna be all for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, Mr. Conway. Thanks for chatting, Lacey. Thanks for trolling random Russian. And peace out, y'all. I'm tired.